Alright, Treagles, what's happening? So, Sunday I was at another wrestling show, and now this was for EAW Wrestling, and this was in Rushton. So let me just start by saying that I've been on this planet a long time, and I've never once suffered with asthma. But on the way home, I had to stop off and get an oxygen tank, because the amount of smoke that kept getting blown around in that place was just unbelievable. You set off the fire alarm a couple of times. Maybe that's your hint to calm down on the smoke, because seriously, someone had to perform mouth to mouth on me. I was nearly gone. So don't worry, I'm fine. Thank you for your concerns, your flowers, your cards and everything. Because if I wasn't, how would I be bringing you this message? From the other side. Anyway, never mind. So, moving on. We had a bonus match that was to kick things off. A bonus match kicked things... Ain't the bonus match meant to be like the last one at the end? So you've had all the good stuff and then you get a bonus one, just a little Oh, never mind. So EAW do training for anyone that is looking to get into wrestling. So the bonus match was between two guys who are very new on the scene. Eddie Stevens v Rob Austin. Now I'm not going to be too harsh on the lads because obviously they're starting into something pretty new. We've all been there, we've all started something new. You have to have a bit of patience and give them a bit of encouragement, and I'm sure in the end if they stick at it long enough they'll be pros. But I do have to say, from what I did see, I was very impressed with Eddie Stevens. I think that he was the one that had a bit more experience over Rob Austin, but Rob Austin did get the win. So maybe Rob Austin is up and coming, you know. Maybe I need to go and watch him a little bit more to actually see what he can do. So all I'll say on the matter of that one is keep going, boys. Keep working hard, and hopefully I can see much more of you very, very soon. So going on to the next match, which I guess you can class as your first match now. And this was between Stealth and Ryan Vickers v Andy Pole and Harrison Borneo Jr. Now these are four wrestlers that I've never seen before, but I must admit I do like Stealth and Ryan. I think they did work well as a tag team. Harrison, on the other hand, I liked him as well. Now this might seem that I've just picked out three of them. Oh, and I'm not giving Andy any love. But the thing is, I liked Harrison, and I think, you know, he's got a good career in front of him. Andy's a bit of a veteran in this. Apparently he's been doing this for 10 years. Again, never seen him before. And you can see by his experience that, yeah, he deserves to be where he is. But the two that did stand out for me on this match was Ryan and Harrison. I really enjoyed the pair of you when you were wrestling. Now the crowd was well up for this one. There was a lot of noise in this one. Andy was doing his best to get the crowd up for it. Loads of motivation regarding the chants and everything. But unfortunately, Stealth and Ryan did pick up the win. So moving on to the third match, or the second match. I'm confusing myself now. Either way, the next match was a 6-person intergender tag match for the Tag Team Championship. So the current tag champs for this are El Grando Beardo and Mr. J. So basically what you had here, you had a Mexican wrestler who basically had a beard, and you had a guy who was dressed as the Joker. Yet he was wearing Batman trainers. But I like that because I've got a pair of them as well, you see. So we've got good taste. Yes, we've got good taste. And they was accompanied by, no, not Harley Quinn, and no, not Clown Girl. She goes by the name of Quinzel. Now, if there's any criticism I can give you here, is please try and get some trousers that fit you. Because every time you was in the ring, you was trying to pull your trousers up. And it was so off-putting that it slowed down the motion of the wrestling sometimes. And Steve Austin even says that he can't stand that when people have to keep adjusting their equipment. So, you know, just get a belt. But anyway, their opponents was Trilogy. They consisted of Will Collins and Scott Gibson with Commander Katrina. So this match obviously was a elimination match. Obviously, like, if one got pinned, they're no longer in the match, and then so forth and so forth. So as it went on, I was impressed with Mr. J, and I must admit, there was a lot of support for Mr. J. He is definitely a crowd favourite there. The crowd absolutely love him on this one. So like I said, the problem with these matches are sometimes people don't know who is the legit person in this match. So sometimes there was wrestlers fighting someone who wasn't even in it, and they went to go for the pin, and the ref's like, but they're not the legal person, so you can't get the pin. So it was a bit hickledy-pickledy, and I don't want to criticise any of them really, because I met most of you afterwards, and you are really nice, but I'm an arsehole, so I'm gonna make sure you concentrate and get the right person on the pin before you pin them. Now, I can't remember who got pinned first and who was eliminated first, second or third. But what I do remember is that El Grando Beardo did pin Commander Katrina to pick up the win. So the Freak Show, that is actually their name. It's not me being an arsehole, even though I am an arsehole. They picked up the win to keep their tag belts. So well done, guys. Keep up the good work. So now we're on to the sixth match or something. Anyway, look, we've lost count, right? I'm not Carol Vorderman. We're not on about numbers here, okay? So anyway, the next match was between the Gambit, or the Gamblerholic, as some people were saying behind me, Eric Phillips, against Little Bo Pete. Now, I've got to stop you here, EAW, because I ain't got a fucking clue what you were doing in this one, right? Mr. J comes out with Little Bo Pete on all fours, wearing a fucking gimp mask on a fucking chain. What the fuck is that about? Is this not meant to be a family-friendly show? Or if it isn't, then seriously, what the fuck is this about? I swear there's videos for that even fucking hardcore people are too scared to watch. That's not even the worst thing about it. It's the fact that he had the little stuffed sheet in a gimp mask. Really? Really? I don't know where to start with this one. I really don't. I was so taken back by this. I couldn't concentrate on any of the fucking wrestling. I was sitting there. I was staring at this little poor stuffed sheep wearing a gimp mask and thinking, where the fuck did your life go wrong, mate? Where the fuck did it all go wrong? All I do remember from this match is Professor Jones came out, got on the microphone, started giving Little Bo Pete a little bit of jib, where then the Gambit managed to get the win, but then got on the microphone where Nick didn't want him to. Nick's the guy who owns EAW. Started talking. No one could hear you. You know that, right? No one could hear you because your music was playing. The second your music stopped, all we heard you say is, I quit. Okay, thanks that you've quit. We don't know why you've quit because we couldn't hear a word you were fucking saying. Maybe you should say, turn the music down. I've got a few words to speak. Even though you wasn't even meant to speak. So, to be honest with you, mate, I really don't think you're going to be missing that company. So, all the best in whatever you're going to be doing. Maybe you're going to wear a gimp mask. So moving on to whatever match we're on to now. And this was for the EAW Heavyweight Championship. And this was between Lance Lust versus Wheeler. Now, I don't know if many people know this, but Lance Lust, it doesn't look a little bit like WizKid. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do you know this, Matt? He wears a mask. There's a lot of similarities there. Hashtag just saying. But also with his wrestling ability as well. Now, this is my very first EAW show that I ever went to. So I don't know much about the history and the background. But from what I do know is that Wheeler's been screwed out of this belt quite a few times. But if it's any consolation, this was the best match, in my opinion, of the night. Lance Lust did walk away with the championship still intact. But I have to say that I was very impressed with the pair of them. My best match of the night. I wish I did get some camera footage. Unfortunately, I wasn't sitting in the best seats to get that, but maybe next time I will get some videos for you. So match 972, and this was between Oliver Peace and Rude Boy Matt. Rude Boy Matt, man, you get me, blood? Wallow, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And apparently he's not a dirty chav, so everyone that was calling him a dirty chav, he's not a dirty chav apparently. I think the jury's out on that one, mate. So there was loads of support for Ollie and obviously the Ollie, oi, oi, oi. Loads of that going around. Matt didn't get such a nice warm welcome like Ollie did. Ollie did get the win in the end. One thing that I will say, and this is just a little bit of a criticism, not about the wrestlers now, this is about some of the guys who was trying to get the crowd going. Now, if the crowd is up for it, they will do it. Don't force feed them it on the microphone, trying to start your chant or banging on the table. Personally, I just think that's a cheap gimmick. I don't like that. I do like the fact that you sell those blow up little hammers and they can hit the wrestlers. That actually is pretty funny, and I'll give you that one. But don't start chants if the crowd's not up for it, because it feels like you're force feeding them and you're making them do it. Maybe they just want to have a breather, alright? Trust me, they probably was struggling with the smoke inhale as well as me. So moving on to the main event now, and this was a dumpster match, and this was between Mr. Monster and Professor Jones. Now, I think everyone would agree with me here that Mr. Monster is a legend when it comes to hardcore matches. Now, even though this wasn't a hardcore match, it was a dumpster match, so obviously they had to get their opponent fully into a dumpster, and then that's how they got the win. But I must admit, this wasn't the greatest match I've ever seen Mr. Monster in. Now, if I'm going to get a bit of shit for this, then fair be it. But like I said, I'm seeing it from the outside looking in. Now, I'm sure it's different when you're in that match. And I know you throw all yourself in there and it is hard to get going, I must admit. And again, with the crowd, it felt like they were being force-fed the chants. You know, it's like they didn't have a chance to breathe. It was like, monster, monster. Yes, there was loads of noise, but I'm sure there was times there where they're just like, leave it out, mate. You know, can we just concentrate on the match for a bit, you know? Now, it's like football. Yeah, you want to get behind your team and cheer, but there's times where you need to concentrate and see what's actually going on. I personally think that this match came a little bit too soon, being a dumpster match slash hardcore match with things that was used for Professor Jones. I think it came a little bit too soon in his career. Apparently it was his second ever match. Now, of course, it takes some fucking bottle to get in the ring with Mr. Monster and it be a dumpster hardcore match. So you got to take your hat off to him now. I just think that this was a little bit too soon. Professor Jones did pick up the win by throwing Mr. Monster into the dumpster by stapling his hands so he let go of the top. So the lid was closed. Professor Jones takes home the win, which did lead up to the next event that will be happening in April. Hopefully I will be there because this is going to be this is a cage match. Now I've never seen a cage match in the independent circuits before, so I'll be looking forward to this one. So part 1 was over. We're going to be looking forward to part 2 come April. So they were all the matches. So we thought, as the crowd's then going, there was a Royal Rumble at the end. Yeah, there actually was. I know some of you didn't see it. It was between all the wrestlers and some spectators, including myself, tackling the fucking ropes on the ring. Now, we had to cut off 13 years worth of tape on each and every rope that was on there. Well done, Nick. What a dick move that was. Thank you very much for dropping that on every single one of us. Quality. Monster got himself disqualified, and I'll let Scott explain that one to you, Scott Gibson. He'll explain what happened there. A few more people were eliminated, and it got down to the final few nitty and gritty, but we managed to defeat the rope in the end by using our bare hands on just razor blades, where most of us cut our fucking hands open. Ollie did throw a tantrum, which I thought was one of the most funniest things I've ever seen in my fucking life. But anyway, yeah, once again, Nick, what a quality dick move that was. But thanks very much for the free ticket, mate. I appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you next month. But anyway, that brings the end to this show now, Treacles. So, I don't know where I'm going to be soon, but I'll be bringing you more videos whenever I can. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. And I will see you later!